Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Steel Division commentary. This game was recorded live yesterday night, but unfortunately my microphone was acting up again. I still can't seem to get rid of the peak amplitude. It's yeah, it just keeps clipping and some crap. But anyway, we're here on the Colombelles map. I'm playing with Tankle, Salt, and Anders. Anders is going to take the city to my, or this little village to my left. I'm going to take the far right. And I'm going to keep this on neutral for the most part. So you can see where Jagged Sauce, which is going to be my opponent on the right side, puts his units. And as you can see, we're currently setting up. Me and Anders are communicating via Discord this game. Although we were both under severe pressure, so we couldn't really aid each other too much during this game. Just let's speed up time. I'm gonna start up with some AT units and do a Panzer II Lux push into this area here. My hope is that I can push within the 800 meters range between these tree lines and maybe kill off or make some infantry units or tank units surrender. I'm gonna push a MG42 up to this tree line here, I believe. And I'm gonna push a Panzer Grenadier all the way up to this tree line. On my left, I'm putting another AT in this tree line right here, as you can see, and my recon is going up here, and the hope was that this recon would sneak up behind this tree line and spot incoming units here, and also spotting incoming units on this side, and of course everything that should be hiding in this tree lines right here. So, for now, my Lux are pushing up. I have them on fast move to get them as close as possible so they get within the 800 meters range, but I do a mistake here. I don't push within the 800 meters range on the Cromwell, so the Cromwell basically has a field day taking out my units right here. So as you can see, the Cromwell just have 3 line of sight to kill off my Panzer II Lux, and I'm kind of busy microing my Spetrup and the half track going over here. Anyway, it's too late for the Panzer II Lux. All of them are either dead, falling back, bailed out. Yeah, not off to a great start, indeed. So now I'm in a really bad position here, because I don't know what else he has. So I spot this Cromwell 5 and I decide to bring in a AT units to try to push up this road, but I forget about it and I push it up just a little bit too far, I think. We'll just have to see. You can see the salient forming on my left and on I'm just gonna call him DK for practical purposes. DK is right here. These rifle squads are pushing in for the flank, so I decided to bring in a Panzer Grenadier unit just to hold the salient that's forming. And we are under a lot of pressure all along the line here. You can see Salt is taking a beating from Vulcan. The town is mostly in Paradox's favor here, and the AVRE is just wrecking DK's unit here. In the factory, also, the Commando Assault from Schmitty is pushing across and holding that very nicely, and the allies currently have a +1 in their favor. So this Pack 38 is trying to sneak up to get a cheeky shot at to this Cromwell, but the Cromwell does have 11 armor, front armor, and I only have 10 AP with the Pack 38. So ideally, I should have this on return fire, and maybe have this close up a little bit more. But as you can see, which I didn't at the time, there is a recon unit here, and that recon unit is most likely spotting my Pack 38. Doing a small push here with the Panzergrens just to see what's going on, see if there's anything behind this tree line. Currently not seeing too much. A bit rash maybe, because I'm not very used to this deck. I think it's my second time playing this deck, so I don't really have a good idea of what I have to work with in terms of units in phase A at least. And here the split troop does a huge mistake of opening fire on the 6-pounder. I don't know why it went off its hold fire, because I was on return fire with this unit, but I guess it got spotted by this rifle unit or something. I have a Panzer II Lux standing by to take care of any infantry that's pushing up, but I do know there's a 6-pounder here, so I bring up my mortar half track just to take care of that. My Panzergrens are in position and holding this line just so we don't have this huge salient forming. Currently, in the middle, Salt is being pushed very hard by Vulcan's units here with the 4th Armored, the Georgius boys. And he has some issues holding the line here, so there's currently a huge salient forming in the center here, giving the enemy 55% territory. My Panzergren unit up in the woods gets surrendered to the rifle units, starts opening fire to take out this Humber, gets the tracks broken, but doesn't manage to kill it off. And this Panzer II Lux is just being hammered by this Cromwell 6. Not too worried, it does only have 13 AG, but it will be able to stun it and make it fall back, and there is also a 6-pounder moving in here. And you can see my AT unit that I brought up for the center here just got absolutely wrecked, and it's gone and out of the game already. Never mind. Again, making some mistakes here. Pushing up the MB42, just forget to pull it back, so it just stays here, and by the time I notice it's too late and it's gonna be surrendered to the rifle squad. So yeah, not doing too great here. You can see the unit combination I have on map now is really not enough to hold back this push here, and you can see he's just bringing in tons of units, and I have literally nothing coming in that can actually counter these units. He has a Cromwell 5 to stun the Panzer II Lux, and the Command Cromwell can easily penetrate the armor of the Panzer II. Start making some preemptive fire, smoking off the 6-pounder here. At least that was the idea. I think I have line of sight with it. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think I do. Panzer II Lux though is making a mistake. I don't know why I have it on. Yeah, it's on an attack move, and it started driving towards instead of just like going out of this tree line and just start hammering it. It starts driving up, and the motorized rifle be on the side. Panzer II Lux drives through the smoke and gets too far. 6-pounder is gonna take that out. Mortar is in a slightly dangerous situation, exposing itself to this tree line, because now I really don't have any idea where this 6-pounder is, or even if he has any other 6-pounders, so that's kind of a risky move because it is within the 1000 meters range. So I take a couple of shots on the 6-pounder, and then I decide to fold it back eventually. So currently I'm just very glad that Jagsauce is not pushing me, because you can see there is really nothing here. absolutely nothing. There's a Panzer II Lux that is being stunned. I used the smoke from the Panzergren to make that bit safely. I have a Panzergren unit which is on 1 health. Gonna die very soon if it gets spotted by these motorized rifles, which it definitely will. And then the Stuart, Universal Carrier, Cromwell, and Cromwell 6 is gonna take it out, but doesn't matter. Jagsaw's motorized rifles takes it out. Does allow me to spot this unit coming in though, so I decide to fall back my Panzer II Lux so they can't get their P8s on target. Panzergrenführer actually has decent HE against the motorized rifles, but it certainly won't be enough to counter it if he had decided to push up, but then he would be within line of sight of my Panzer II Lux, so wisely decided to retreat that. Motor unit is retreating safely back into cover. Decide to bring up a Speertrupp to get some recon going, and that allows me to start firing the mortar again. And this Speertrupp is providing me with so much information. As you can see, I can't really see the infantry units pushing across or behind this tree line, but I'm gonna push it up just enough so I can spot them coming in this tree line here, which is very nice indeed. Another half track going down there, allowing a small salient to form. Not too much going on at this point. I'm trying to be as defensive as possible and not let him push. But ideally, he should have just rolled down this road right now. Does he have to know? If he has any knowledge about the 9th Panzer, he would know that my units isn't that strong and I had very limited availability in phase A. So all of these units, if he had just decided to just push me right now, I would be completely crushed. So a little mistake on Jagsaw's side there. Bring up another recon unit to see what's going on. I can spot these armored units right here. So eventually I have to bring up a AT unit, but the only thing I got at this point is a Marder 3 to counter these Stuarts and the Cromwell 6. Universal Carrier engaging my SDKFA. Oh my god, I can't even speak this. The 251, let's just call it that. Now my Panzer II Lux is being engaged by the Stuart of Jagsaw's. I have to get that within 800 meters range to be able to do anything, and I see him pushing, so I decide to just rush the Stuart 6 just to see if I can get a shot onto it. Because that's my only hope right now. This just keep firing at it, and even if I just decide to attack this, it would be in line of sight of all these units. So yeah, not much I can do here. Now the small push is coming from the Cromwell rifles and the Stuart, the motorized rifles. I have absolutely nothing to deal with it, so I decided to bring in this Pack 40 now, since we have hit phase B. And I'm super concentrated at this point. I'm not even talking in Discord to DK. But I do have this recon here, which allows me to start pinning down these rifle units that's pushing across here to this tree line. Try to make as much damage as possible. And the Pack 40 actually gets some shots towards the Stuart, but misses its shot. That's gonna retreat from the engagement. Misses the shot onto the Universal Carrier. Now all these units are gonna be out of line of sight. However, Panzergrens are ready to take the shot. Not the best move though, because there is a lot of units here. Try to fall that back before it gets wrecked. Just about managed to pull it back, and then they do the horrible thing of just running out in the open to the mercy of the Universal Carrier. Not really much I can do about that. However, gets into cover. And now the Pack 40 might be able to get a shot here. 251. Start engaging the carrier. It's already stunned. Should be able to let that fall back at least. Now Model 3 has arrived, and also the 263, giving it some veterancy. It doesn't really have any long-range AT units. However, there is a Firefly moving down here. Have to be wary of that. I initially think it's a M10 or a tank destroyer, which is not good judgment from me, because I decided to push up this Model 3. Obviously, I can't see that right now, but as soon as it's come through this tree line here, I will be able to see it, and I just decided to engage it because I think it's a tank destroyer, not a Firefly. And 13 AP against 11 armor at max range could work, but the 16 AP of the Firefly is more than enough to penetrate the 2 front armor of the Model 3, so try to fall that back. Fortunately, get the driver knocked out. But yeah, an engagement I am not going to win out, that's for sure. I try to take my chances with the 3-star veterancy here, but the stun value of the Firefly is just too much for my poor Model 3. I really should have been pulling this back here, and that's just a huge mismicro on my part. Anyway, now bringing up some armor to counter his on the far right. My recon here got destroyed when the motorized rifles found it. I'm pre-firing this tree line because I'm not sure if there's a AT unit here. Try to bring over my Feldpanzer and my Stug 3 on the far right, so I can get line of sight onto this Stuart here. Also this Cromwell. That is my current goal. Now you can see he has brought in 2 of these Sextons, which is going to be the absolute doom of me in this game. For a long time at least. But yeah, currently very slow paced and like some skirmishes going on. Managed to take out the command Cromwell, which is nice. Motorized rifle try to push through the tree line, but I spot them coming and start preemptively fire with the mortar. And when they reveal themselves, they're gonna be immediately taken out and surrendered to the Panzer Grenadiers, which is nice. I have the Panzer Grens on full fire, trying to push through this tree line just to see what's going on. Now the mortar is going to firing at the scouts, I believe. Also bring up this Pack 40 for the left side. I'm currently missing every single shot onto this uni Stuart, making it fall back. Now I have to change targets to the Firefly ASAP. Managed to take it out in the process. Firefly just about pulls out. And he is going to start fire positioning me with this Cromwell 6 eventually. Also bringing up some recon unit here so I can push this tree line and spot this 6-pounder, so I can maybe start creeping up some units on this side. Yeah, just some skirmishes going on. I'm just happy at this point that I'm actually holding on. Because, yeah, currently not doing too good. And the enemy still has the +1, 53% map control. And is floating about 1,000 victory points right now. So we have a long way to go if we're gonna turn this around. In the town to my left, DK is barely holding on as well, bringing up some more infantry to try to push out. This Flag 36 have gotten some decent kills, or is getting some decent kills during this game, I believe. 17-pounder covering the road is gonna take out the incoming reinforcements, which is not ideal, and now these poor Luftwaffe Jäger is gonna have to rush across the field here for cover. M7, sorry, the Sextons is fire positioning my Pack 40. Also the Cromwell 6 is fire positioning my Pack 40, so I'm gonna bring this over slightly to the right and pop out of the tree line, hopefully get the kill onto the Firefly. Completely forget I have this 258 here. That's gonna start taking shots. Fortunately it misses the first shot, so I see this and try to pull it back behind this tree line. This was initially here to counter any infantry that was trying to rush across this bush line here. Also bringing in a AA unit, because he has been constantly bringing in these planes to try to take out my rocket planes, and this spread trip is just going to go down to the enemy recon spotting me. You can see this rifle squad though, so I'm going to start shooting that with my 250.2. Now it's just a matter of microing these armor units correctly, just so I can get the 50 line back. 50 line is around here, just on top of this crossroad here. Second's firing away, taking lucky shots at this Pack 40, which I believe he knew was here or around this area. Probably spotted by some recon, or maybe even Pack 40 got some shots off. I don't know. I can't remember. Pack 40 engaging the Cromwell 6, gets the kill eventually, just about when it takes the incoming artillery fire from the Sextons. But now he doesn't have the HE capability to counter the AT guns I'm bringing in, which is very nice. Because these Firefly only have 2 HE with their high explosive value. Now bringing in a Tiger E to try to counter these Fireflies. I do have a 3-star veterancy once I get within range of this 263. I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Trying to bomb out the known location of the Pack 40, however I have removed that because of the artillery fire, so that is A-okay. Try to rush around the corner with this half-track, just to see what he's got, because currently I can't really see what's going on this side too much. I was basically trying to bait out any AT guns that might have been here, because I really want to push across my Stroke 3 and my Feldpanzer to get the side shot engagement of the Firefly. However, the Pack 40 gets a side shot onto the Firefly at close range. I'm starting to retreat that. It just about manages to get out of line of sight of the enemy half-track before it goes down. Also smoking it off, just to be absolutely sure that it gets out. Now I'm feeling kind of confident that I can start to maybe push around this corner. I don't know if I've ever spotted this 17-pounder. I don't believe I have. So I'm still wary of pushing down this road. However, 263 has now given the follow order to the Tiger E, and the Tiger E is now gonna start to fast move up this road after this MU-109 stuns the Firefly. However, it is really taking its time here. Really taking its time. So I don't actually get within line of sight before the Firefly starts to push back, which is unfortunate. You can just see the massive concentration of the units here. And I don't really have any like off-map or something that I can take that out with effectively. Sexton's currently doing some counter RD to my mortar, or maybe even just trying to get the shot onto this Black 40, I don't know. I've brought up a supply to resupply my mortar. Betrop caught the rifles moving down the tree line, and my 251-2 is going to start firing, positioning the rifles. Try to push across this half track into this tree line, because there's a small gap here. If I had pushed it in here, I could hold that with the machine gun, the half track. Tiger E firing at the 6-pounder spotted by my Betrop, which is excellent. Now doing a side push to exploit this gap here, trying to get a shot onto this Stuart. Find the conversion carrier and try to take the shot. Goodbye. Stuart tries to move out of line of sight, but it's not going to be enough, and that is going to be a very dead Stuart. Fortunately, it missed its first shot there because the Felt Panther was showing his side armor, which is not ideal. Now my Pack 40 is pushing up, and it's going to reveal the Stuart again. But this Spitfire coming in, decided to fall back my units before they get stunned in line of sight. Pack 40 finishes the job onto the Stuart, and now I bring in my fucking Wolf 190s to counter his planes while they're stunned from the KFC 7-1. Schmitty leaves the game on the far left. It's being pushed back hard by the Pioneers and the units of Tankel. Amazing job taking back the factory area there. That is a tough one, for sure. Also pushing back in the center. Tiger E. Whitman is probably doing some work on his units, also accompanied by the Panther Gs and now also the Jagdpanzer from Colt. DK is extending himself to help on the left side where Salt is. And this Flag 36 has been having a field day with units here. Nice. Over on my side again, still some small skirmishes going on. I've also brought up a Jagdpanzer 4 to help deal with these Fireflies. I really need some tanky units now with lots of front armor. I believe the Jagdpanther has 14 front armor and 12 AP, which is more than enough to counter the 11 front armor of the Firefly. However, the Firefly does have 16 AP, so it might be able to get the penetration from front, especially within 1000 meters range. Tiger E taking shots at the Firefly. Jagdpanther decides to move in and join in on the fun. However, can't really get the shot in. Unvetted, and the 263 is without range. Bouncing a lot of shots here onto this Firefly, and the artillery is also making some stun value to my Panzer. Bring in a Hummel to counter RD and do some long range artillery on the enemy AT units, which I can now see, I believe, some of them. Yeah, I can see this one. I'm gonna start fire positioning this 17-pounder that's moving across the tree line. This Betrop is an ideal position because now I can actually spot the units it's bringing in on this tree line and pushing them over to here, because this Betrop obviously can. Decide to push it up a little bit just to spot anything going on this side, and also on the right side, left side, because it was initially sitting here, so I couldn't really see what's going on this side. Just gonna have him hold here for a second. Hummel is fire positioning the 17 pounder and is making take a lot of stun damage, which is nice. But still, you can see he's floating a lot of units here, like Achilles, Firefly, which has been smoked off because of the Tiger E and the Jagdpanzer. Also bringing in a second Jagdpanzer now, just to have the fire en masse, basically. And I know there's a lot of infantry here. I don't know if I can spot them with the recon. No, I cannot. I'd probably be firing at them with the order then. Bring in a leader unit just to give the 1-star veterancy to the Hummel so it can fire slightly faster. Which is now going to start counter-ordering the Sextons so they don't have the accuracy to do some HE damage or HE stun value. Tiger E gets the shot off on the Firefly, which is excellent. Achilles pushing through the tree line, or just holding just behind the tree line. Now also bringing up some infantry to start making a push with these Dugs, Feldpanzers, and support of the Hummel, the resupplied mortar, and another Jagdpanzer 4. So this is where it gets interesting. We have now crossed the +1 lead, and currently the Allies will still get a minor victory in 10 minutes. We have to make the absolute best of this game now to get the win. 17 pounder just about managed to push through the tree line and kill off my Tiger E before the shots from the Hummel lands on sight, because I did see that coming, or had a strong sense that it was pushing through the tree line. PugViking 190 is going to get on the back of the Tempest and it's probably going to shoot that down. Bring up some more infantry and a rifle, sorry, not a rifle leader, Grenadier, support my Panzergren units. I'm just going to spread these out on these tree lines and then I'm going to start doing the push. Forget about the PugViking 190 after it shoots down the plane, and it's going to be going back. This Jagdpanzer 4 is currently detracked and is just taking constant fire from this Firefly here now. Ideally I should have smoked this off, but there was so much going on and I was focusing on the infantry push on the right side, so I couldn't really do much. 17 pounder pushes through the tree line, gets spotted by the Spectre. Jagdpanzer 4 goes down to the Firefly. New engagement going up, bring up a Stug 3 just to rush up this this road to get it within range of the Firefly while it's engaging the Panzer 4. However, the Jagdpanzer 4 does manages to take out the Firefly, which is excellent. Now the push is coming, brought up my Feldpanzer and the Stug 3, and the infantry is pushing very hard. 3 veterancy with the Grenadier. Type 40 just holding the road in case anything pops out around this tree line. And at this point I can't really see much because everything is smoked off or hiding. But there is a major concentration of units here, and I do know he has these Achilles and other these heavy units. However, now I have a lot of heavy units to support my infantry, and now I'm going to start breaking through on my side. Another Firefly comes down the road. This Type 40 is going to start slowly moving up to the different tree lines. Here, here, and eventually here. Crusader AA firing freely at my Panzergren, so I'm gonna smoke that off so it doesn't have the shot. Also smokes off the Firefly, so that doesn't have the shots. Just everything that reveals itself in this trailer now is just gonna get absolutely wrecked. Using the smoke to advance with my Panzer. Now the heavy push is coming on my left flank as well. Recon is moving up with the return fire order, so I can spot enemy units and start firing with the mortar, which is going to start firing on these rifles, I believe. Just rushing up this 251 just to see if I can draw the fire of any AT units, which is it does manage to do with the Achilles and reveal the Humber. And now I know that's there. Gotta be careful of that. Does have 2 veterancy. Might be able to one-shot at this range. Panther strict combination is pushing up, picking up the Crusader AA. Smoke is revealing level 6. Now the Firefly is also going to get in the mix, and I'm going to immediately start firing on that. And that Typhoon AT gets a beautiful strike onto my Panther Panzer and takes it out. And does some major stun damage to my Stroop. Texan getting rocketed by the ME-109. Pack 40 moving up, takes out the Firefly, which is excellent. Doing a lot of damage on the far right. However, the Panzergren is making the Panzergrens not surrender. This Panzergren has outside of the rifles, so as soon as these guys get out of pin down state, they take the full back. Lose a Fuckwolf 190 to the Seafire. Achilles goes down to my Panzergren's Panzerfaust, which is excellent. And now push across to the +2, pushing way back on the far left. The center making some decent progression as well. However, the Churchills in the town are making it very hard for DK to push here, so he's making a combined push with Saltair to push up the middle, which is excellent. Currently we're at the +2, which is gonna give us the draw. So now we're just aiming to get the +3, and maybe, just maybe, we can get the win on this one. Keep in mind, we were 1,300 points below the Allies when we started pushing. So me and my teammates, or especially my teammates, has done an amazing job of pushing up this left flank here. Very close to the +3 now. However, he's still bringing in a lot of these armored units, which is making it hard for me to push up effectively when I only have these light units. Pack 40 is getting the line of sight onto the Sherman. He's going to get the bailout, which is excellent. Now bringing in a train of these Panzer IV Js. Just gonna rush up this road and try to get the +3. Gonna push through this tree line here because I don't really know what's in here. I can't really see, but this spear trip would reveal everything that's come through this tree line here, and sure enough, motorized rifles push through the tree line. It's a shot after the stroke, but all these units gonna immediately put it down. At this point, my opponent Jagsaw's surrenders. Couldn't take the heat from my Panzer push. Also bringing up a lot of infantry here now. motorized rifles and rifle squads of the Exhaust. Hummel firing away at the Sexton. I believe I do spot this AT gun briefly. Let's just bring it over to my point of view for this last few minutes. Currently 1 minute 30 seconds left, so I decided to just fast move up this road. Maybe we can then get the +4 and get a minor victory. Panzer Grants pushing up the road. Briefly spots the AT guns. Immediately gonna start fire position that position with my Hummel. Only thing left here now is the motorized leader. However, bumped into this Sherman here. Not a Firefly, but they managed to do some damage. There's also a I think that's a 6-pounder. Or is it a 17-pounder? It's a 6-pounder, yeah. My goal here now is just push up as far as possible. However, only 36 seconds remaining on the clock. We're making some decent ground, but the 6-pounder is being an absolute nuisance to my units. And I just can't seem to get the moving down on the AT gun, so I can keep moving up. Kill it off. However, it is too late. +3 in our favor. 70% map control. 1,279 points gets us the draw, and that is game. After the full 40 minutes. We reach the time limit. On the scoreboard, you can see, actually, I didn't do too bad. I think the phase B or even phase C push actually made this KD come out positive, because in phase A, I obviously got absolutely wrecked by the heavier armor units that the Exhaust had. So yeah. Doing a decent job there of pushing through, and my teammates just look at this these KD ratios: 4,614 to 1,800 losses, Salt 3,200 to 2,500, DK under a lot of pressure, going negative in the KD, but absolutely amazing job holding the line against all the EC units pushing across, doing a wise decision there by joining Salt in his push and taking back the ground. Let's see at the kill board here. You can see in phase A, nothing really traded too much before getting killed off, like 1-on-1, and Panzer II looks taking out a scout before it goes down is not worth it. Attack 40, however, definitely paid itself off. The Befehl Panzer definitely paid itself off. Attack 40 paid itself off. Took 3, same. Tiger E, absolutely the same. 2 6-pounders and a Firefly. I'll call that a win. And yeah, you can all just see see the spread in units. When I decide to pull in the heavier units, the KD ratio of the units goes up immediately. So yeah, good game to my opponents. Thank you to Vulcan for hosting the game on his stream. Thank you to Smitty, Jagsauce, Paradox for being amazing opponents, and very nice job my teammates Tankle, Bolt, and Anders DK. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Also, make sure you're following me on Twitter, and check out the link in the description for my Discord channel.